So you're looking for a USB microphone for your podcast or for a video, and you want something that's decent, but you don't want to break the bank. Well, Maono, Maono thinks they have just the microphone for you. It's the Maono PD200XS. Now, this video is not sponsored, but Maono did send me this microphone for free, and to them, I'm very grateful. But I get to say whatever I want, and if you know me well, you know that I will say whatever I want. I'm pitting it up against my favorite USB microphone. This little microphone from RODE is fantastic. The question I have for you is, do I need to buy this, or can I get away with this? Now, the time I'm filming this microphone costs $199, where this costs $99. And if I can do my math correctly, that's a savings of $100. Yeah. So the big question is, would you rather have this microphone at $100 or this microphone? Oh, but I forgot to mention that Maono also has a discount for another 10% off running right now. I'll leave links in the description. Oh, but that's not all. The Maono microphone also comes with this boom arm, which will save you another $29. Although you could probably pick one up for probably $19 on Amazon. So let's give it another $19. $19. Oh, and another thing that the Maono has over the RODE mic is this little light here that you can change to a variety of colors, or even have it switch between colors as you're filming. Yeah, pretty cool. What's that worth? I don't know, maybe $2. Not really worth much to me, but if it's worth something to you, well, I noted it. Oh, and the Podmic actually has a control knob right here on the microphone that you can click and either adjust the headphone output or you can adjust the gain. Yeah, this is really nice. Over here, there's a dial, but it only adjusts the headphone jack. So what's that worth? Well, to me, nothing. I'm not going to adjust the gain here. I'll just adjust it on my computer or my interface. So it's got to be worth something, though, right? All right. Let's go with $3. Now, a couple of things I want to note is that both of these have a lot of handling noise. So if I'm touching it or moving it or something like that, well, there you're going to hear it here. If I'm using the little mute button, yeah, well, it muted it, but, well, makes a noise. There's also some handling noise from this microphone. So here's my advice. Don't handle your microphone. There, you're welcome. So you can see the spread between these microphones is leaning heavily towards the Maono. There should be a D in it. It should be Maono. They are not going to send me another microphone. But now let's talk about build quality. Okay, the RODE is built like a tank. It is made of metal. It's actually very heavy, and everything here is going to last and last. This microphone, well, it's kind of plasticky. So the question is, what would I pay for a better build quality out of this microphone? Well, personally, I'd probably pay another $40. So I'm going to have to take back $40. And 40. Yeah, this is really well built. So with the windscreens off, let's just talk about the Plosives. Now, Plosive is that sound that you get when the air hits the microphone. And it's really difficult to take that out. And to me, very annoying. The only way to really get rid of it is to put on a windscreen. Comes with this windscreen. This comes with a windscreen as well, but it's kind of wimpy. We also have this windscreen over this, but then there's more insulation here, whereas this is pretty much open. So in my opinion, there is a larger plosive problem with this microphone. So I probably should take out another $30. Okay, but of course the big question is, how do these microphones sound? Well, this is the Maono with everything turned off, all the processing inside, and I haven't added any after. And it sounds different than the Podmic, where I've done the same thing, turned off all the internal processing and haven't added anything. But generally, I think you can tell that this has a very different sound than this microphone. But you know what? I'm not going to be using either one of these microphones flat. I'm going to use either the processing that's inside of them, or I'm going to do it in post in my computer. Earlier in this video, when I was jumping from this microphone and jumping to this microphone, was there this pronounced difference? No, because I did a lot of EQing and working it so I got this microphone to sound the way I wanted it to, and I got this microphone sounding the way I wanted it to as well. Is there a difference? Well, yeah, there is a difference, But is it really that big? I don't think it's as big as you're hearing now. So a test like this, well, what does it tell you? It tells you, well, pretty much nothing. So what can I do to this microphone? Well, in Final Cut Pro, you can add an EQ and then adjust that. Here's a little tip for you. Try selecting one of the frequencies and then narrowing the band. It's called the Q. And then crank it way up and then slide it back and forth. And when you hear something that sounds really annoying in your voice, well, just take that down and cut it rather than boost it. Don't cut all the way. That's a little crazy. I mean, some people do that if they notch it down a lot. I don't like to do that. I just like to take a few dB off of that and then do the same thing. Grab another one, slide it around. You find something you like, well, let's boost in that area. And maybe we'll widen that out a little bit so it's a little more of a gentle slope. Those are some of the things that I do to EQ the voice. And when I get done, well, going through all that, I make this decision. And so this is what that mic sounds like. Hey, but I do the same over here as well. I'll go in and make a EQ adjustment on it because nothing is actually perfect and every voice is a little different. So there is no perfect microphone. There's just good microphones. Oh, and both these microphones have an app in the computer that you can use to set the internal processing inside of these microphones. That's fantastic because you can tweak it just the way you want it, and then it will just stay in the microphone that way. Now, to be fair, the Maono doesn't have as much processing in it as the RODE mic. There's simply not as much control. The Maono does give you control over the gain and of the headphone volume. In the advanced mode, it also has 7 bands of EQ. There's also a limiter and a compressor, but there are very limited controls. In contrast, the Podmic's compressor gives you control over the threshold, the ratio, the attack and release, as well as the gain. Similar to the Maono, there's a high-pass filter, but the Podmic also includes an Aphex oral exciter as well as a big bottom. So the internal processing is much better in the Podmic, so I'm going to take back about, $20. Well, congratulations to Maono because I think this microphone meets the criteria of good enough and a great value for the money. Now, if these were priced the same, well, I probably wouldn't think that. And if you're interested in the Podmic USB and want to learn more about it, well, I did an entire video over there, and I think you'll like it. And if not, hey, thanks for stopping by.